Hi friends, it's Jennifer Gillette. Thanks so much for coming to the video today. Today we're going to be talking about minimalism and living a simple life. So I want to start off first and foremost and let everybody know I am not a minimalist. I've researched this topic in depth. I'm very fascinated by this lifestyle. I love the idea of selling everything you have, simplifying your life, just being in that position of freedom where you can just travel, go, do, help, serve, give, and not be tied down by all the responsibilities that we have in modern life. So, that being said, about 10 years ago, I was first introduced to this concept through this little book here, Living the Simple Life by Elaine St. James. And I love this book so much. It's just, even the format of the book, it has like just the most simple little steps. So I'm just gonna like randomly open it up and I'm gonna flip through to find something. So she goes over kind of how to live a simple life. I'll just read the chapters too to give you kind of an idea. So chapter 1 is the simple life. So she kind of goes over her story of being a corporate yuppie to that cabin in the woods approach to living simply to, I think one of the most important questions to ask yourself is, what does a simple life look like to you? Because it's going to look different to all of us. So even though, like at the beginning I said, I'm not a minimalist, I'm very much attracted to this idea of living simply, living with less. And for me, really what it comes down to is gratitude. Just being grateful for what I have and not having that kind of greedy, more mindset. So the second chapter gets into getting started. Really simple things like 10 ways to free up an hour or more each day for the next 30 days so you can start simplifying your life. 10 ways to free up miscellaneous amounts of time over the next 30 days. So when we really think about being living that simple life, it's really not about your stuff as much as it is about your mindset, how you think, and about your time. Because here's what I'm learning as I'm going through this decluttering my home process. The more stuff you have, the more time you have to invest in caring for your stuff. The more you let go and release and learn to live with less, really the more simple your life becomes. I'm going to put a link in this video to a YouTube channel from someone I've been following for a long time who's given me a lot of tips on how to care for my home. And what I've realized in the process of decluttering, really cleaning doesn't take long. And we have a 2,600 square foot home. So it's, I think, a big house, but really I can get the whole house clean in about 15-20 minutes, because before I started this journey, it would take me days, sometimes weeks, to get everything just the way I wanted it. But really I wasn't cleaning, I was decluttering. I was throwing away trash and stuffing things and getting ready to get ready. Now that my home is more simple, I've eliminated a lot of clutter, I can go into the bathroom and in 5 minutes have that whole bathroom clean, because I'm not trying to put away things and organizing and decluttering. That's the part that takes the time. Going into other chapters, chapter 3, she talks about the things that really matter, re-examining your life goals, zeroing in on your top 4 to 5 priorities. And this is another thing that I've found in this process is I've gotten a lot more clear on what my goals are. Not only do you free up your time, you free up your mind, because clutter, it's not just the stuff, it's that emotional clutter. It's that mental load that we as women tend to carry. We're constantly filing like who's got to be where, what needs to be clean, when's the last time we did this. Even delegating is a job. It's a full-time job, even if you have a large home with extra hands to help. you as the mom, as the wife, typically are the one who has that mental load of determining who does what, right? We run our homes. We're the home managers in most homes. Let's see. Chapter 4, it goes into just some of the things to look out for, some of the pitfalls, some of the ways to change gears, how to involve your children in the process. Chapter 5, I'm not going to go over everything, but it definitely gets into like your inner stuff, your personal household routines, lifestyle issues, such as setting up automatic payments, which I'm a huge believer in. This has saved so much time in simplifying our finances, is all of those bills that we know have to be paid by a certain date every month, such as our car payment, our house payment, electric, gas, those types of bills that we know we're going to pay. If those companies allow you, just go ahead and set it up on auto pay. You know you're going to pay them, right? You might not get paid on the same date every month, but you know you get paid like every 2 weeks or whatever your pay schedule is. So set up a budget. This is huge for simplifying your finances, is set up a budget. What Mike and I did, we didn't really know like where to start with our budget. So what we did is we got Quicken. It was like, I think $50 for a year. We signed up for that in August of 2018. And we just for 3 months just spent money like normal to see how much we were spending in categories. And this was eye-opening. We got to see how much we were spending on food every month. And it was like literally we're spending money that we're flushing down the toilet. So we've become more intentional with our food, not just our food choices, but our food spending and going out to eat. And now we create a monthly going out to eat as a family date where we all go out as a family, and that's one thing that we spend time on, and we're intentional about it. And it's not just going out to eat because we didn't plan or because we're just in a situation where we have to go out to eat. Now, we still have those, but we've really cut back on them. And for me, especially since I'm home full time, it really came down to a question of time management, planning ahead, and not being lazy, not just being like, ugh, I just don't even want to deal with that. Food is something you have to do every day, several times a day, so plan for it. Chapter 12 is probably my favorite chapter. It gets into this simple wardrobe, and I love that. I could teach a whole class on simplifying your wardrobe and just making it easier when you kind of have a uniform or like a set go-to like piece that you wear. Yeah, so here's the book again. Living the Simple Life, Elaine St. James. So I highly recommend it. I picked this up on Amazon. It was a couple bucks, but really great tips. It was written several years ago, I think in the 80s. So some of the stuff's a little dated, but, or maybe the early 90s. I'm not sure. I've had this for about 10 years. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend this book. Also for quiet time, I think it's really important to have a routine where you are going to be spending a certain amount of time in prayer, meditation. And so I found that having a book or two in your quiet time space, having a plan, for me, these are my two go-tos, is My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. It's just a classic devotional. It's really shaped my faith and my mindset towards my relationship with God and my relationship with people. And I love that it has a verse every day, so you can kind of read that, meditate on that. And I write in my book, so I have notes in here so I can go back and kind of see what God was doing in my life at certain times. Yeah, this is an incredible book. But yeah, this one right here, My Utmost for His Highest, this is kind of like my go-to. And then my second one is this book right here, Streams in the Desert. And this is a little bit more, it's kind of like more like all the feels. So this one's a little bit more emotional, gets kind of in the depth, where I don't want to say this one's lighthearted because these are both pretty deep. But I like this one kind of when I'm walking through a hard time in life. And I've went through both of these books multiple times. I've had these for over 20 years. And yeah, they're both Excellent. So you have something like this. I know if you have the Bible app on your phone, that's another way to simplify your life, just having everything right there. But I love paper. I love books. So these are 3 things that have really helped me in living my version of a minimalist lifestyle. So this book and then these 2 books right here. So I hope this inspired you, and as you're going through this course, the 14-day challenge, and watching these videos, one of the things I really want to encourage you to do is to not get overwhelmed. I'm giving you tons of ideas and inspiration, and some of these things just aren't going to stick. Some of these things are going to feel like, oh, it's one more thing. But I want to really encourage you to pick 1 or 2 things throughout this next 14 days that really resonate with you, that really feel like, yes, this is what I've always known that I want to do, and do it. Because this course isn't going to change your life, but the actions that you take and the habits that you establish during the next 14 days are going to change your life. And so I just want to encourage you to not get overwhelmed. Pick the things that really resonate with you, maybe 1 or 2 things, and really take action on those and be consistent, because that is going to change your life.